Happy Sabbath. I feel kind of nervous, but I got encouraged because I was whispering to God for assistance.
Amen.
Amen.
High school. I'm 50 years old. Yes, I'm a little 15 years old. Just don't get confused with my facial hair. Well, the testimony is about a personal story about how Jesus happened to help you in your life. And testimonies are basically like a memory book about how Jesus helped you in your life. In this testimony, I will tell you about how Christ helped me throughout my lifetime. Alright, so when I was born, it was in the year 2009. I was born on the 23rd of June, but unfortunately, 4 days after I was born, I had an unexpected or out of nowhere seizure. This happened when my grandmother was feeding me a bottle when it was around 1 or 2 around the morning. Then all of a sudden, I started jerking or seizing. My grandmother ended up panicking and woke up my family. Immediately, they took me to a hospital in Portsmouth, Ohio. The doctors ran some tests. Unfortunately, they did not find any reason for any seizures. So her choice was to send me to the children's hospital up in Columbus, Ohio. My body was continuing to seize like someone was shaking me up. My mother and grandmother I started calling people to pray. And around 1 mile before we got into the hospital, my body stopped seizing. And by the time I went to the hospital, I quit seizing entirely. And I was in the hospital for 5 days. And if I was older, like if I was 4 or 5, I would be really impatient, trust me. Anyways, dear church, I never felt any reason for the seizures. But I know who was the one who ended my seizures. It was our Heavenly Father.
Amen. Amen.
The next time the Lord healed me when I was about 1 year old. My mother, Kaylin, took me to a wellness checkup. While I was there, the doctor saw a problem in my eye. It was my right eye right here. The doctor sent me to a specialist to review it. The specialist also confirmed there was a problem with my right eye. Once again, my family made a prayer. This time, it includes more of my family. On the day where the surgery was scheduled, my mom took me at 6 in the morning to the hospital. My mother and grandfather came with us, and after getting prepped for surgery, the doctor came and wheeled me back to the operating room. About 10 minutes after being inside the operating room, the doctor came out and told my mom and grandmother this quote: I have been in this business for 30 years, and I have never seen anything like this. I know when I looked in the baby's eye, I saw the problem, but now in surgery, I see no problem whatsoever.
Amen.
I know who was behind the problem with my eye. It was the enemy, Satan. I know that God works in mysterious ways, and He got to steal my right eye. Now that's why you stop. Now that's what you call seeing is believing. Some years later, when I was 9, the same doctor was listening to my heart at a wellness checkup. She found a problem and sent me to a specialist in Columbus Hospital. And later, I was diagnosed with Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. Now, if you was wondering what Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome is, it is a symptom that affects the heart rhythm. The heart rhythm is connected to an extra electrical pathway that can make the heart beat faster. It is dangerous because it can cause a sudden cardiac arrest, or when I say heart attack, which can shorten the lifespan of I was scheduled to have a surgery again, and my parents were praying at the top of their hearts. During surgery, the doctor said to my parents that it was double sickly. It was tricky for the doctor because the heart kept making a new path. But God's presence was there, and He healed my heart.
Amen.
Yes, I honor my parents through my life, and God said, I will have a wonder life. I said, I'll live.
Amen.
Now, when I was a preteen, I was lazy to do homework. Since I was in homeschool, I thought that I could play more and work less. This thought made me complain about working most of the time. One day, I was complaining about homework. I was rapping a blanket. And of course, I ended up being too far without my notice. I ended up hitting my head into a table, and boy, it was not free to go hit. It ended up making me bleed like a waterfall, and my grandmother and mother were there, screaming and calling what I saw. My mother swiftly brought me to the hospital while I had a towel as a band-aid for my head injury. She was waiting to learn about my injury. Once she arrived, I only had 3 stitches, and I had only have to wear it for only 1 week because it was a small one. However, I'm sure that my grandma was praying while I was going to the hospital. And after being treated, I did the work and everything was fine. But hey, at least I learned a lesson. Pay attention to my surroundings. Now into 8th grade, I was worried about the new things, including going somewhere that was completely unfamiliar, which I would say social anxiety. I didn't know about the new school rules, which is not to use devices and technology in middle teaching. Shortly after, my grandmother prayed for me to help me stay in school. It was the best choice too. By the end of the year, I adopted to school in very bad trouble, and the best part, having A's and B's on the roll. God has helped me throughout the school year, and that's something I really appreciate. In the beginning of 9th grade, I was officially a high schooler. It was normal until the middle of the year when my video game account got hacked. While my time was hopeless and scary, I pleaded to God for help because of my account. Suddenly, I got an idea that my phone number was my other way to get my account back. So I used it to get back in. That phone number saved my account from being lost. And I give credit to God for He has given me another way around. Also, I forgot that my in-game currency got stolen before my account was hacked. Anyway, my account got my currency back. I felt so thankful to God because He helped me save my account. If it weren't for God, I would lose that account forever. After a week, unfortunately, my Microsoft account got hacked on December 11th, 2023. This turning point left me hopeless. One day, I nearly got into serious trouble at school and possibly even the state. Because of my bossing actions, my grandmother came to school and made a prayer for me. I believe that God has saved me from that trouble, even though my parents were majorly disappointed in me. Now, I see that God has helped me with my thoughts. However, my harmful thoughts was continuing until it was the 4th of September of 2024. It was my last action I committed. My grandparents told me what happens if I keep repeating the same action. Within a month, my mistake was healed. You know who was responsible for making me resilient? It was God. He proves that everything is strengthened towards Him in Philippians 4:13. It says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yes.
I also learned that harmful thoughts are not sins, but as they are temptations. I prefer us quickly that you get all things to God. Blessings be on this testimony to all who hear it.
Yes. Thank you. Amen.